What's going on, guys? Dustin Connell here, and I want to go through some of my Lowrance settings on my HDS 12s. You know, I've got two graphs right here at the dash. I'll run my chart on my left-hand side, and I have the C maps in there, and then I have my side engine, down engine, 2D all on this side. What I'm going to do is go through the settings and how I like running my side engine and down engine, and we're gonna try to find some bass. You know, and getting these settings right means everything, trying to find a brush pile and just find fish in general. So I'm gonna go through all the settings, how I like setting these units up, how to make them the most efficient I can. And so I'm gonna dive right in. First thing I'm gonna do, cut the motor off, and I'm just gonna tell you how I set my side engine, down engine, 2D, and run through my whole graph just really quick. Now I will say this, once these graphs come out of the box, they read completely fine. But what I do is I tune them up just a little bit. And what I mean by that is I get the settings, the overlays and everything exactly how I like it. And that's what's cool about these graphs. You can customize them to whatever screen you want. The first thing I do with these graphs, as soon as I get them out of the box, you know, I mount them on here. And they read completely fine, like I said, but I go in here, I change whatever views I like. So I can go to the bottom, I can go to edit. My favorite one is this one up here. So I'm just gonna clear that, and I can go to side scan. I'll go to my sonar, and then I'll go down scan. That's typically what I do to run, you know, this graph. I'll change this setting up top, and then I'll have my side engine on both sides. I'll have my down engine and my 2D right there. That's how I typically run my graphs. You know, it's totally different with everybody else. But the biggest thing with these graphs, like I said, they come out of the box reading completely fine. You have to understand when to use the 800, you know, kilohertz, or for this matter, you know, I'm running the HD transducer on the back, the HD side engine transducer. I think it's the 3-in-1 by Lowrance. And these have a 1075K chirp, which is 1075 kilohertz. And then I have a 455 setting. For me, I typically use the 455 setting as I'm idling these shallower flats. We're in 15 foot right now. I can run my side engine out to like 80 feet. So I like using the 455 for me. So diving right in. That's how I like the view of my settings. I love the 2D right here. I love the down engine over here and side engine. So we have all the palettes right here, and I can change these palettes, you know, to any color. And the main reason for that is we all see differently. You know, some guys, they see red differently, or they have on different sunglasses. So I've just kind of always gravitated to this one. This is the number 8 palette. I like it because I can see really, really far with it, and it shows fish to me a little bit better, but I've always ran that palette. All right, so I'll change the palette to 8. I'll turn my contrast up just a little bit. I mean, as you can tell, I can dial it on up, but I'm gonna fire the motor up, and I'll start idling, and I'll show you what I mean. So this is completely auto. It comes exactly like this out of the box. And I'm gonna turn around, and as I'm idling, I mean, this is strictly out of the box right now for my side engine down here. All I need to do with that is dial that up just a little bit more, okay? See how it makes it glow on the sides? I don't want it too much. We're in really, really clear water right now. We're on Table Rock Lake, but I'll dial it up just a few little notches, you know? I'll do +2. You can turn that auto contrast off and go up farther. There's some brush right there on the down engine, you can see it, but I can see it on my side engine pretty good. So I'm normally gonna dial it up just a couple. I don't wanna go too hot on my contrast, because then it kind of blows the screen out. The deeper that you go, the more contrast typically you're gonna want. I run 80 feet out. If you notice at the bottom down here, that I run 80 feet away. You can dial that up. If I want to go clear cursor, if I want to go range 90, 100, I can do that and see just as far. So if I'm away from this brush pile, I'll show you. to where I can barely see him over there. There he is right there. All right, you can see him really, really good. I just hit the cursor right there. You can see my waypoints. Y'all come fish that place. There's my waypoints right there. But you can see that graph. I mean, you can see that brush pile on the edge of that point. Really, really good. And that's out at 60 feet. It doesn't matter how far away with this new transducer that you go out on your side image. You can still see it just as good. For me, I run it to about 80. And if I'm, in really, really deep water, I can dial it in closer, so whatever you like to do. Not really that many changes on the side engine, but the down engine for me, that's where I start having to make some changes. So this is auto now. I've went to, strictly out of the box auto on my down engine. For me, I like dialing that up. Now this is a perfect example. See those 3 or 4 fish down there? They're right there. Now I'm gonna turn my contrast up. See those fish starting to glow in a lot more? Now, them fish right there, I can see them way better. There's actually, I can zoom in. There's 4 of them right there. There's some more. They might be crappie or something, but I can literally see that one fish on that one rock right there. So before, it was really kind of faded just a little bit. And I like dialing up my contrast higher. I always have. Oh, look. Another brush pile, a biggin. So on this one, for example, I dial it back to auto. It's kind of, I can still see it, but I really want to make that brush pile pop. I want to be able to see everything that's going on in it. All right. There's a fish, there's a fish, there's a fish. I see the brush coming up. That's perfect to me. I know that them fish are kind of hanging around the top and just scattered all around it. So I dial that contrast up to about 10, plus 10. And I run that, year round almost. So here's some old crates right here. I literally just ran over these. You can see the crate right there. See the sides of it? And then there's another one right there. So dial your contrast up on your side engine and your down engine, your 2D. This is my through hole transducer. I typically don't change this a lot. I'll turn my sensitivity up a little bit. If you get too much, you'll see it kind of blowed out like that. Bring it back down. There's actually a school of fish right there. Bring it down to where you're barely seeing a little bit of clutter. I can adjust this more, a little more sensitive by dialing it up. Probably about 82%. That's gonna give me the best image I can with the most sensitivity. So leave it about right there. I can run around at 30, 40 mile an hour. I can see bait on that through hole 2D transducer. So a lot of guys, they've kind of forgotten about a 2D. That's a big, big thing. And it helps me figure out where the bait's at. I always run 2D on my graphs. And then the other settings, you can change your overlays. You got your structure up here, your depth. I can go to edit overlay, and all the overlay is just this water temperature and stuff like that. So I can go to change. I can add whatever I want on this screen. So I'll move this around, water temp right there, whatever I like to do. Save. But that's my settings. I keep it pretty simple. Turn your contrast up, get your pallets right, make sure your transducer angle is correct on the bottom of your boat. If it's tilted down too far, if it's tilted up. And these graphs are gonna read phenomenal out of the box, but just a little tip, tune them up just a little bit, depending on the watercolor. And it'll help you find more fish and catch more fish. All right, so that's my settings for my Lowrance graphs, and they help me catch a lot more fish. So be sure to slide by your local Bass Pro Shop. If you're looking at a new graph, go in there, ask the guys about the graphs, get a little more info on them. These are tips to help you catch more fish.